And I had all these like voices in my head, like, what are you doing? You can't do this. I found out like, whoa, why do I talk so negative to myself, right? I was kind of a party girl, you know, nomadic lifestyle, just following the sun and the party. I was between Ibiza, Tulum, Bali. Oh, I can't meditate because my mind is like, I had a really bad relationship with money before, and I had to like say all these things about money, right? I love money, money loves me, money is my best friend, money has my back. You know, that's how you can rewire your brain if you just repeat it enough.
And I'm so excited to have here today in the studio wellness coach Linnebel Mosier. Our today's guest, Lynabel, originally from Netherlands, is a Kundalini and bodywork facilitator and entrepreneur. During her modeling career in Tulum, she discovered Kundalini energy work that completely changed her life. It connected her to her higher self, her purpose, and a higher calling. She realized that she's here to help others heal. She became a certified Kundalini facilitator and brought this powerful energy work back to Netherlands, where at the time, almost no one had heard of it. People in Holland were not very spiritual at that time, and many people didn't take this work seriously. But she stayed true to her vision. Over time, the curiosity grew, and now nearly 40% of her clients have become facilitators themselves. Today, she lives in California with her husband, Zach. Maybe you had like a experience with your higher self. Or
yeah,
however.
I feel like the universe just slapped me in my face, like, okay, stop doing what you're doing and start.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Live with Purpose. I'm your host, Anna Lawson, and we are so excited to have you here today on this journey of discovering your life purpose. Today's episode is going to be about boosting our self-esteem through positive self-talk. How we talk to ourselves really matter. So we want to be aware of that inner voice and things that we say to ourselves. When you change that inner monologue, that inner voice, your reality really changes on a profound level. And I'm so excited to have here today in the studio wellness coach Linnebel Mosier. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Tell the audience a little bit that might doesn't know, what do you do in life? And tell us about how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so I am a wellness coach. I am a Kundalini facilitator. I do many different things actually, but that's my main thing. But I started off as a content creator. So for years I was creating content, I was traveling like a nomad, and along the way I found my spirituality. I had a spiritual awakening, and it's been a crazy process. But
so when you say you had a spiritual awakening, tell us about that. How did that happen?
Well, let's go back to when I was super young. When I was a kid, I was living in Holland. I'm from Amsterdam, and I didn't have a lot of like confidence. I didn't feel like I was talented or anything, so I was just working at a snack bar and going to school. But I always visualized myself like having more in this life, you know, like I thought like this is not it. I live in this country, it's always raining, it's dark, people are like grumpy, I want more. So I always visualized, ever since social media came, I saw all these models like on the beach creating content. I was like, oh, this is what I want. So I feel like that's already the start of like manifesting like a very different lifestyle. And at some point I got there and I was traveling, and I was living in Tulum at the time. And this is where I got in touch with spirituality for the first time, because I wasn't spiritual, I wasn't religious, I didn't grow up with that. So to me that was all like woo-woo. But
I know it can really feel like that for somebody who's not, who doesn't know about mind-body connection. It can feel like, what are you talking about? Like it can seem very foreign and kind of strange.
Yeah,
yes.
like meditation, I thought that was like for crazy hippies, you know, yoga too. Like I wasn't aware of any of that, you know. Coming to Tulum, meeting all these people who were like into that, I was like interested, but it felt like far away from who I was.
And how you grow up and how you were trained.
And I have ADD, so I was always like having these limiting beliefs, right? Like, oh, I can't meditate because my mind is like a monkey mind, and I can't do this, I can't do that. It's not for me. So.
And what was your first touch with that kind of world? Did you take a yoga class? How did it happen?
Yeah, I guess Tulum really made me more interested because I met a lot of people there, but there was one specific moment. Yeah, so I was at a festival in Tulum called Warrior, and I had an out-of-body experience.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I saw myself from like above,
Wow.
And I was working in Tulum for someone, and I wasn't happy with that. And I had a lot of group pressure going out. So yeah, I forgot the first part of the of the story. So a lot of people wanted me to go out that night, and I actually didn't want to go. So I was there. And
smart. That's smart.
So I went because I felt the pressure. I was such a people pleaser, right? So when this happened, I got a voice talking to me in the loop. And it said, like, stop doing things for others all the time. Prioritize your health, prioritize yourself. And I wasn't for the longest time, you know, because I always wanted to please others. And I got all these messages. And the more I was embodying those messages, I was like, okay, I will do everything you say. I will never do this again, never do that again. I will follow my intuition. I will, you know. And the more I was saying these things, the closer I came to, like, the light. And I came back into my body. I can't explain how grateful I was to be alive. I was pinching myself. I was like checking my breath, and something in my eyes just changed because I feel like I died already and nothing worse can happen to me. And I was like, as long as I breathe, everything is amazing.
No, that is amazing. Maybe you had like a experience with your higher self. Or
yeah,
however.
I feel like the universe just slapped me in my face, like, okay, stop doing what you're doing and start like living your...
Find a right way.
Yes.
And then what did you do from that point forward? How did you change your behavior and your lifestyle?
So I quit my job directly, and I started to really trust, because I was already creating content, but I didn't dare to rely on that only. I always felt like I need something else, you know, to have this security. But then I felt like I'm going to stop working for others. I'm going to fully trust on myself. And then my business started to grow and grow. And because I was living from such gratitude, I feel like that's the most powerful state to manifest, right? So everything I wanted, everything I needed started to flow to me. And that's when I started to be interested in like books like The Law of Attraction, and I started to do my research about it, because yeah, now I had the proof that there was more, you know, with energy. And
that is so interesting. And if you can name one book that changed your life, is that a Law of Attraction? Would that be, or any other book?
Yeah, what was it again? The Secret, right?
The Secret.
The Secret, yeah, that was like the most simple one, the first one I read. So yeah, I started to implement that right away. And soon after...
Can you give us one simple advice from that book that you implemented? So maybe somebody in our audience can also do that. One thing that changed your life.
Yeah, that like everything you think, you know, creates your reality. So combined with a desire. So like everything what's in your heart, what comes to you, that you can do it all, you know, you can manifest anything you want, that everything is possible. So that,
and basically the way that you think creates your reality.
Yes, that you are the creator of your reality, right?
That is so true. That is so true.
Yeah, before I wasn't aware of that, and I was in this victim mindset sometimes, you know, for like, oh, this always happens to me, or this or that. But the more you say that, the more that happens, right? So I really learned how to like rewire my brain and to like be super cautious of how I think and how I speak, because yeah, it's powerful.
It becomes your reality.
Exactly. Soon after, I think the pandemic started, and I was actually in LA when that started in Europe. And then my friends in Tulum were like, don't go back to Holland, come to Tulum. So I was like, okay, I'll go there. And then I kind of stranded there and I got stuck there, which was the best thing ever. Because I was there at the beach. I became friends with the hotel owners. The whole beach road was closed, so no tourists were allowed. Yeah, so the people who were living in the hotels were just friends and family of the owners. So it was all small communities, and everyone was helping each other. It was so beautiful how everyone in like this chaos was like so, you know, loving to each other. So that was a beautiful experience. And then one night, my neighbor, I was living in this amazing beach hut, like on the beach. So I would just wake up for sunrise and swim and like do workouts every day and create content, because I could still do that. Yeah, so one of my neighbors was knocking on the door, and he was like, do you want to come to this collective meditation to raise the vibration of the earth? And I never meditated at that point, and I had no clue what he was saying. But I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I went to the beach with him and I started meditating, and I had all these like voices in my head, like, what are you doing? You can't do this. All these negative voices, and I was like not aware of. And that was the first time I found out, like, whoa, why do I talk so negative to myself, right?
I'm so glad you said that, because our theme for the episode today is actually cultivating positive self-talk and boosting our self-esteem through the positive self-talk. So I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So you became aware how negative your inner monologue was.
Yes, I was shocked. So I was like, okay, I need to like learn about this and master these voices, right? Because that can't be good for you.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny, but at the time, everyone was like sending this like meditation challenge of Deepak Chopra. And every morning we had a meditation and like an assignment. So I was doing that for 21 days straight to like make it a habit. And I learned so much about myself. So at the time, people were super angry at me because I was still posting that I was on the beach and I was like doing all these amazing things. But people all over the world were locked up in their houses. So I got so much hate, like, you're the problem, you spread the virus. And I was like, oh no, you know, like I never had hate before on my socials. And then I realized like, okay, I'm gonna share about what I'm doing about meditation, how it's helping me. And then people started to slowly appreciate that. And I started to do like home workouts because I was into more to like fitness at the time, and like creating home workouts for people. And then slowly people started to turn around and like be appreciative again. I found out how much joy it gave me to help other people, because people were like, oh, thank you, my mindset is so much better now, or, you know, I lost weight, or this or that. And then I found out like, okay, this is what I want to do. I don't know how yet, but I want to help people feel better about themselves.
I think that's the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves and others. Make ourselves feel better and make people around us feel better.
Yeah, I really I felt so blessed to be able to be there that I was like, okay, how can I give back to the world? Like, I'm in such an amazing position. How can I like give back and do good things for others? So that's the start of like this path for me.
That is so wonderful. I also feel the same way. I feel that life is a miracle, that we are all blessed to be here. I see beauty and abundance everywhere. So when somebody comes from like a lack mindset and tells that life is a struggle, I just want to help them. I was like, no, you have to change the glasses. You know, life is beautiful. And yeah, I really feel very blessed in my life, and I want to share that with other people and make their lives better, you know, because why would you suffer when you can have everything that you want? You can be happy every day, you can feel fulfilled every day, energized, motivated. If you just change like your morning routine, evening routine, and some stuff in between. So it is a work. It's not
but
easy.
It all starts with that decision that you want,
exactly.
that, right? Yeah.
It all starts with decision.
And
that
if
is
you
so
can
true.
like be the inspiration for that, that's so amazing. You change lives, you know?
But you're right. You have to make a decision for yourself. I want to change this. I don't want to feel this way anymore.
Yeah,
It
I want
has
better
to-
for myself.
Yes, exactly. I know I can do better. I know I'm born to do great things. I know I can overcome anything, and it really comes from that insight. And then from that point forward, when pandemic ended, so what happened later?
Also in Tulum, I discovered Kundalini. And it was funny because I had a Spanish friend, and he would say to me like, I have this spiritual practice that you need to do, and it's called CAP. But I thought he said cup, and I didn't know what he meant. So I thought it was like a cupping massage. So he took me, and I was thinking we're going to a massage. And I come into this like yoga studio with like 30 people, and they started to say like what we're gonna do, this energy work, and they did a demo. And I was shocked. These people just started to move and shake and scream and cry. And I was like, what is this? And they said that this energy was moving them, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. But I was so curious after seeing that I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay down and see what happens. So yeah, they started to like touch me in certain points and to activate this energy in the room. And the first 30 minutes I was super in my mind, you know, I was like thinking about what I just saw and that I had to move, but I wasn't moving. But at some point I kind of like was listening to the music. I almost fell asleep. And then I felt like little shocks in my hips. So yeah, after the session, I felt so much energy. My pupils were wide open, and I was so amazed that I was like, okay, I want to learn more about it. And I went to the next session and the next and the next. And I just noticed that I got so much clarity. Like, yeah, I felt that everything I wanted started to manifest in seconds. And it was just cleaning up, you know, from the inside out. Yeah, it's clearing blockages. It's like releasing trauma. And yeah, that was actually the start that I was like getting into that, and that I saw the effect, and I was so amazed by it. But I never thought I would be a facilitator myself, you know. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, but I didn't see myself like that. So it took like almost a year, I think, of like receiving sessions before I started thinking about becoming a facilitator.
I saw a video of a lady that posted your session on your Instagram, and she's also like lifting and jumping, and I was like, what is going on here? What is this? So that is how that looks like when they're cleaning the energy. So the body is literally moving. Tell us, because somebody might be interested to try it, the session.
Yes.
So what happens?
So Kundalini actually just means life force energy. And we all have it in our bodies, but it's rolled up at the bottom of your spine. So throughout the years, we didn't really learn how to connect with this anymore. But some people do with like Kundalini yoga or breathwork. This energy can activate during plant medicine. But yeah, a lot of people don't even know about this. So when this energy activates, it kind of like starts to like go up and down on your spine, and the symbol is kind of like the DNA. And that's why you see a lot of people, when this energy activates, their body starts to move in those waves.
Because of that energy movement.
Yeah, because the energy releases. And it's a self-healing energy. It's literally connection like to source energy. And what it does, it just cleanses you from the inside out. It connects you to your higher self. It like deconditions everything, you know, like a lot of people, they just don't, after this energy being activated, they start to like realize that they don't live from their heart and soul, but from their mind,
true.
You know?
That is true.
That they're so conditioned from the outside or from family or just society. And when this energy activates, it just brings you back to like your true self, your higher self. It connects you with your inner child. So what it really does is just connects you to your intuition. And you start to feel what is good and bad for you. You start to really trust
yourself.
Yeah, yourself.
And that instinct, intuition, that inner voice. That is so interesting. And can you tell us, how do you define success in context of your life purpose?
Well, personally, freedom is for me like super important. To do the things you want to do and to have the time for it. But if it's in context of my purpose, I would say like what we were talking about, right? Like real success to me is reminding other people of their own inner powers. And like stepping into that power and start living their best life, you know, start becoming their best self, and that's what true success really looks like for me. If I see the transformation of my clients, that's like the ultimate
success for you.
Yes.
Amazing. And can you tell us your morning routine? How do you start your day?
I start my day with my own mashi coffee. I always wake up, that's the first thing I think about. Yeah, I have an own mushroom coffee brand. It's called Soul Foods Amsterdam. And that's the first thing I drink, because that gives me a lot of energy and it connects me to my heart. And then I do a meditation. And this meditation, I always start with gratitude and my intention for the day. I visualize my day, how I want it to be.
And is it a specific meditation that maybe our audience can find online, or do you teach that kind of meditation? What kind of meditation is it?
Yes.
And how long does it take you to do that?
It depends how much time I have. Like sometimes it's just a quick one of like 10 minutes, but if I have time, I will do it for like 30 at least. And I do have like certain steps that I'm starting like doing online courses as well. So this is something I'm gonna teach, to make your own meditation to manifest. Yes. So yeah, I just started a newsletter too. And I will share everything there.
If you can mention one thing that is the most important for manifesting, what would that be? What is the most important thing?
To first wipe out your limiting beliefs. Because we can want so much, but if we don't know what's underneath, you know, if we say, oh, I want this, I want that, but you don't believe you're worthy of it, then it's never gonna happen. So.
That is so true. And there's so many people struggling with this. I see my clients, members of our audience, I get questions all the time. How do I actually convince myself that I'm worthy of love, that I am capable, that I'm beautiful, that I have what it takes? Because when they literally say, I don't believe it. I keep saying it. So do you have any advice for our audience how to effectively tap into the subconscious and convince yourself really on a deeper level? So you're not just saying it, you're actually feeling it and embodying that belief. What would you tell them?
So I did so many different things to do this, and I'm still figuring out how to put this into a course, but I think repetition, you know, like constantly repeating yourself with mantras in your meditation. But for me, also this energy work helped so much, you know, really clearing out, because we store a lot of energy and trauma inside of our bodies. So sometimes in the mind, we want so many things, but things in the body block it, you know. So I think that's also something humans really forget, to clear the body. So that's all in alignment between the mind, body, and the spirit. And when those three are in alignment, that's when you become like super powerful.
When you're really whole and in alignment.
So I would say a combination between, meditation mantras, but also find a way. It can be breathwork, it can be Kundalini, it can be sound healing, whatever works for you, you know, to like also take it out of the body.
And clear out these energy blocks so that energy can flow and you can create that alignment.
Yes.
And that is so true, because there are these poisonous pockets in the subconscious that somebody picked up maybe when it was like a 2-year-old baby, and they're totally unaware.
Yes.
But it's actually manifesting as a problem in life, let's say financial, or they cannot find a perfect partner. So it's something totally in unconscious part or subconscious.
Yes.
So we need to get deeper and clear that out in order to create the life that we want.
Yeah, some people say like, oh, I don't have trauma, but like everyone has some type of trauma. It's impossible. You know, life happens.
If you're not fulfilled and you don't live your dream life, then you do have it, but you're not aware.
And it doesn't have to be this heavy, you know, like you say, it can be like your mom maybe said shut up one day when you were super young, and you have this blockage on your throat, you know, that you don't speak your truth, and manifestation comes from like speaking words, or like, you know what I mean? So it can be little things. It doesn't have to be like an enormous trauma, but we all store things in the body.
Yeah, it is so true.
You remind me of something when you say money. Like I had a really bad relationship with money before, and that comes from my trauma with like my childhood. My stepdad was like such an egotistic person, you know, so, and he was only thinking about money. So I thought like, oh, if you want to be rich, you need to have this personality to make it happen.
Bad person like that.
Yes. So that's also something I really rewired in my brain through mantras in my meditation. Like I had to like say all these things about money, right? I love money. Money loves me. Money is my best friend. Money has my back. Everything I spend comes back to me 10 times more. Like, you know, that's how you can rewire your brain, if you just repeat it enough till you really believe it, you know, and that really changed everything for me.
And you have to do it every day, repetition.
Until you believe it. And still, you should always
keep doing it.
But in the beginning, for sure, every day. Maybe even 2 times a day, yeah.
Or it's okay, just give us 3 empowering affirmations that our audience can use. Like, what do you feel is like most important to tell yourself?
That you love yourself. I love myself. That you're worthy. That you can create anything you desire.
And if somebody wants to add this to their morning routine, what would you tell them to do? To maybe tap into their heart, to say it out loud, to write it down? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I think all of it is super powerful, but for sure, for me, I like to say it out loud. Sometimes when I do these steps of my meditation for manifestation, I just talk out loud.
And best advice ever given to you?
Well, like I think something that really changed my view on something recently actually is I was so focused on the outside, you know, how do I look? Because before I was doing more modeling and content creation, and I was thinking that my audience only wanted to see the outside or like sexy things, you know. But in real life, I wasn't like that. I was what we're talking about now. I'm like so into healing and this and that. And I think for many people, like stop tying your worth to things from the outside and start looking for the beauty on the inside.
Wonderful. That is so wonderful. I love that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Take a look at this wonderful segment. We'll be right back. Today, we'll focus on setting an intention to enhance our self-esteem and cultivate positive self-talk. Let's start by taking a grounding deep breath in together. So breathe in deeply and exhale. I encourage you to take out your journal and remember to take your time. Pause whenever you need to collect your thoughts and then continue when you're ready. So let's start by writing down some affirmations that lifts us up. As you write these affirmations, it's important not to just think about them, but to genuinely believe in them and feel them in your heart. The goal is to connect with this positivity on a deeper level, rather than just merely going through the motions or writing it on paper. Here are a few affirmations to inspire you. I deserve love and respect. I'm successful and abundant. I am happy. I am beautiful and I'm worthy. So take a moment now to write down any additional affirmations that resonate with you. Now, let's take a few moments to reflect on 5 things that we truly love about ourselves. These can relate to the past, present, or future. They can be about our mental, physical, or spiritual selves. Whatever feels right to you. Personally, I love my perspective on life. I love my body, my spirit, my communication skills, and the work that I do. So take your time to write down 5 aspects that you love about yourself. As we wrap up today's segment, gently place your hands over your heart, close your eyes, and repeat after me. I am loved, I am worthy, I am grateful. So we are back now to our wonderful conversation. And I know that you have these sessions often. You just had one in Santa Monica, right? Was it in Santa Monica?
Yes. I found this really cool place. It's called The Sanctuary in Venice. Ever since I came to LA, I found amazing communities, like the girl community, but also the spiritual community. So I'm hosting my ceremonies only there now.
And if somebody comes to the event, what they can expect? How does it look like?
So we always do a welcome drink. You can try our mushies if you want. Then we start with a group meditation. We lay down, and it's like an hour of laying down with music. And I will touch you at certain points of your body. I kind of combine different things I learned. So Kundalini activation, but also body work, which is more with pressure points in the body to really like attack those points where we store a lot of energy to
especially
release
hips,
that.
Women, hips.
Hips, womb, under the ribs. There's a lot of these points where we hold. For women, it's around the hips. And then what we do, we work in the 3 bodies, the emotional, spiritual, and the physical body. And we just work to like pressure point this energy out, and then we transform it into love and light, or into your intention. Everyone has to say their intention. So at the end, we just clear your whole body, and we realign all the chakras.
And if somebody out there is afraid or they're uncertain, how does that work? It sounds strange to me. How would you encourage them to give it a try and not to be afraid?
Well, I always say it's your own energy. So you can't be afraid of yourself. You can, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. So, and you're totally aware. So if you have any discomfort or you feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, you can stop at any time. But that never happened. You just lay down, you listen to beautiful music, and you kind of go into this like slightly in trance of like relaxation. So it's really nothing to be scared of. I know it's like a lot of people come in very nervous and they go out like super zen, and they're like, oh my God, that was not necessary to be this nervous, you know.
I know I saw the comments in the group on our group chat that people were like really like, oh my God, I felt amazing. It was so great. I love the session.
Most people just feel very energized after, very clean, you know,
calm,
like
maybe grounded. Amazing.
So
that is so amazing. And if you could send a message to everyone in the world, so every person in the world receives it, what would it say?
I think my slogan is heal yourself to heal the planet. Because it all starts within ourselves, and if we work on ourselves and raise our vibration, you have a positive impact in all your ancestors, your future kids, and everyone around you, and the whole vibration of the earth. So I always say, like, the best thing you can do for the world is work on yourself.
That is so wonderful. And our last question, I always ask this my guests. Somebody's out there uncertain about their life purpose. What advice would you give them?
I think it all starts with meditating and going inwards. You know, because a lot of people, I don't know, and they start to like search outside of themselves. But we hold all the answers inside, and if we like strip all the limiting beliefs and all the conditionings, then we come closer and closer to our true essence, and we will start to remember who we are and why we're here. Because I believe everyone has a gift to share in this world, and everyone is unique in that. So it's all about discovering your gift and sharing it. So I think all the techniques we talked about will really help with that, you know.
Thank you, Lynabel. It's so great to have you here. I'm so happy that you joined us, and I'm sure that our audience got so much inspiration from your story and sharing all your wisdom. So thank you for being here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I want to leave you to really pay attention for the next week, how you talk to yourself. What do you say to yourself? What is that inner monologue? What is that voice? Let's say you have a great idea for new business, or you have a great idea for a product, or I don't know, for a new relationship, but then that voice comes in and says, oh, it's never gonna happen, it never worked before, it's not possible. So I want you to catch yourself, to notice that voice inside and to stop and rephrase it. I want you to change the narrative, because auto-suggestion, so things, how we talk to ourselves, is one of the most powerful ways to change your life. So every time when you notice that you're being negative, that you're judging yourself, that you're very critical of yourself, stop, pause, take a deep breath, and repeat the affirmations. You can use the affirmations that I shared today in our previous exercise segment, or you can write down your own affirmations, but it's very important to rewire your brain and to stop yourself and teach your subconscious mind a different pattern. You can say, I can do this. I have room to grow. I can improve. I can create the life that you want. So pay attention to your inner monologue. It really matters and will change your entire life. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for your energy, your wonderful time, for trusting me to guide you on this journey. See you next time.